Alright, today we are going to look at Haggai. We're going to look at Haggai verses chapter 2, 21 through 23. Yay! Okay, first let's pray. Dear Father, please lead anyone to this video that needs to watch this video. Please help us explore your truths. Help the hearts to receive what they need to receive, and help me to teach what needs to be taught today. In your name, amen. Okay. So let me read verses 21 through 23, and then we will break it down. Verse 21 through 23 of Haggai chapter 2. Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake heaven and earth. I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms. I will destroy the strength of Gentile kingdoms. I will overthrow the chariots and those who ride in them. The horses and their riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. In that day, says the Lord of hosts, I will take you, Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, says the Lord, and I will make you like a signet ring, for I have chosen you, says the Lord of hosts. Alright, so let us first see what the name Zerubbabel means, because in the Bible sometimes the name meanings will actually reveal something. Name meaning. Hold on. Zerubbabel, maybe I spelled it wrong. There we go. It means a stranger at Babylon. Dispersion of confusion. Alright. This makes sense because at this Israel went through the Babylonian captivity, and this is talking about the restoration of Israel over the nations. For us Christians, spiritually speaking, we're spiritual Israel, and we are in the dispersion of confusion, and we are captive of spiritual Babylon, because we are amongst the world. American Christians, we know that America is turning away from a lot of Christian ideals, so this is a passage for us. The first thing that we're told, which is in verse 21, is, I will shake heaven and earth. This is God speaking. He won't just shake earth, he'll shake heaven. I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms. I will destroy the strength of the Gentile kingdoms. I will overthrow the chariots and those who ride in them. The horses and their riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. How will he shake heaven and earth? He will overthrow the throne of kingdoms. Not just the kingdoms themselves. He'll overthrow the authority of those kingdoms, so those kingdoms do not come back. He will... I think this applies to both spiritual thrones and human thrones, because the next one is, I will destroy the strength of Gentile kingdoms. So he's destroying the throne and the kingdom itself. He'll overcome the strength of the Gentile kingdoms, even the ones that will remain. They won't be powerful. He will take the authority of kingdoms that are not under his will, and he'll take away that authority and hopefully place a new one. He will overthrow the chariots and those who ride in them. He won't just overthrow the military might, he'll also overthrow the people who are part of that military might, so that there is no seed left. He does a thorough transformation against the authority that does not belong. The authority against spiritual Israel. The authority that fights against us, the Christians. The horses and the riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. Wickedness betrays wickedness. God will take the wicked and turn them against themselves. This is why we got to make sure that we're abiding in the will of God, and that we're acting as spiritual Israel, not as a disobedient Israel, but an obedient Israel, so that we don't turn against each other. We're seeing this in America. I think this explains the American situation well. America's been turned against each other. Liberals, conservatives, right and left. And we're just wondering what the heck's going on. Well, God is taking the false authority of America and giving it back to spiritual Israel. He's making America a Christian nation again. And this is what happens. This is how he does it. We think this is peaceful, good thing, revival everywhere. No. First, you see what is described here, the shaking of heaven and earth itself. You see, well, maybe not the overthrowing of the throne necessarily. I mean, I think we did see that. The authority was finally taken out of politicians' hands and given to a non-politician. We'll see if that's good or bad. But the spiritual authority, nonetheless, is getting taken away, and the mainstream corrupt system that has been spouting out every president finally was broken. We finally have a different person out of the system on the presidency. So I do think, I don't know if Trump will be a good president. I do think he was meant to have been elected into the presidency, though, and I think God had a hand in that. He'll destroy the strength of the kingdoms against spiritual Israel. America's got enemies. God's going to subdue their strength. We're also a Gentile kingdom at this time. Possibly. I think America is anointed by God. I think that's why we won the Revolutionary War despite many odds. I think, I do think God will still use us as a Christian nation, that we are still the essence of spiritual Israel, and that we will be a revival source in the future. But yeah, this is what we're seeing happening. We're gonna see the enemies against America weakened. Another reason that Trump may have been put into the presidency is that he has every plan to go against the enemies of America and make sure that they are no longer a threat. He's more military oriented when it comes to that. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But with the context of these verses, it does seem that God is moving to bring America back to the Christian base. Yeah, and then the Lord says at the end of verse 23, which is the end of the whole book of Haggai, I will make you like a signet ring, for I have chosen you, says the Lord of hosts. The signet ring was the authority of a king. Joseph was given the signet ring of the Pharaoh of Egypt, which made him tantamount ruler of Egypt at the time. So the Lord's saying he's giving us the signet ring because he's chosen us. This is a promise for America right now. He will give us authority. He will give us authority over all the lands. America has had that, more or less. We have been an influential country. We also had Manifest Destiny, and successfully took both the coasts of this continent. And yeah, horrible things went into that, but God's sovereignty supersedes a lot of things. One, the Native Americans weren't Christian necessarily. God's looking at souls, not right. Persecution sucks, but God does use it. And so yeah, we're seeing, though, that God will restore America to its Christian authority. He's going to make us a Christian nation again. Not to say we're not a Christian nation, it's just that we're... Putin actually said this himself. One of America's mistakes has been going back on its Christian ideals. Going back on the principles it was founded off of. But God's restoring that. I think looking at what's going on in America through the context of Haggai 21 through 23, chapter 2, actually that's the only 21 through 23 in Haggai, I think we can make a little bit of sense of what's happening, and knowing this, I think we need to pray. We need to not fear, and we need to move. We need to move with this. We can't see these things happening in the Lord and then not prepare. We have to prepare our hearts, I think, mostly as a servant. Because remember, in verse 23, he says, God says, I will take you, Zerubbabel, my servant. Also, the son of Shealtiel. So also, the idea of legacy, the idea of a generational thing. We got to prepare ourselves as servants, and we got to step into the focus of being the fulfillment of what America once was. So yeah, that is Haggai, chapter 2, 21 through 23. This was more of just an edification kind of thing. It wasn't a sermon or a verse preaching kind of thing. I was just going to give some of my own insights onto what's happening with America. So God bless. Amen.